Hello everyone, welcome to Aspirants IAS. We know that prelims is approaching and many of the students are confused how they should balance optional along with prelims in these crucial months of December, January and February. See, if you have done decently till now and you have already done most of the syllabus, then you can switch to prelims directly. But somebody who has just completed their optional and they're not so perfect with the optional or who are continuing with their optional, for them this session would be very helpful, and I'll give you very practical strategy how you can balance your optional along with your prelims. First and foremost, in these 2 months you should not go by the book method, that means reading the entire book or reading the entire chapter, because lot of time gets consumed in the areas which are not very important for the examination. So given this, you have to use your time very wisely. So first and foremost thing to be done with respect to optional is you have to find out the critical areas. Okay, that means if you see that in every optional you will be having certain important topics automatically, because if you have gone through the PYQs, you know this is the topic where UPSC can ask a question. Any student can tell it if they have gone through the PYQs and syllabus once. So now identify those critical areas and among them, so now if you have found out some 400 important areas, out of those 400, which are the areas you are weak? First, choose those topics where you are weak and then find out the reason for the weakness. So, what is the reason for being weak in that particular topic? Did you fail to understand the concept? Are you lacking in conceptual clarity? Or are you lacking in articulation? Okay, so sometimes we understand it, we know the topic, but when you are given a question you'll say that I'm not able to write it. So the challenge is with articulation. And then other problem generally students face is with respect to structure and value addition. See, if your problem is with conceptual clarity, then in that case refer IGNO and EPG, because most of the times I observe that students are reading some toppers notes or they are following some guides. So which is not good for UPSC, because UPSC is evolving from last 4-5 years and it's emphasizing more on conceptual clarity and the contemporary developments. So given that if you are not clear with the concepts and if you are not following authentic sources, tomorrow even some basic things you might go wrong in the examination. So that's why go to the original source and try to understand the concept clearly. Suppose if you are not feeling the concept to be clear, then you can refer any video explanation or you can approach any mentor or senior who is available to you. So first identify your weakness. If it is conceptual clarity, it's most important, because without conceptual clarity other two weaknesses will definitely be there. So that's why have the conceptual clarity, and for any topic the source can be IGNO or EPG. Then you understood it but you are not able to write an answer. So the problem here is articulation. See, that's why when classes are being done, or if you complete the concept, you have to make the notes in your own words. You should not copy in verbatim. The reason is that many a times your brain doesn't process the mechanical definitions and at the same time mechanical points. It only tries to process what it understands. So when you understand the concept, then try to put it in your own words other than some important definitions and facts. So when you try to do it, automatically you will be able to write an answer. So this articulation issue should be solved at the beginning phase itself. See, post prelims, this will become one of the biggest weakness for many of the people, because you can't learn it within a short span. That's why I would suggest that try to utilize this time very carefully for learning on and finding out your mistakes. And if articulation is your issue after the conceptual clarity, then on those topics, see, entire syllabus, it's difficult. At least find out those areas where you have the issue, and those areas you try to make the notes in your own words on those specific topics. Then after that, some of the students also face issue with the structuring of the answer and then value addition. See, for value addition, the best source. See, value addition should provide you with a contemporary development. So, if you want more examples and more new replacement of examples, you can refer to current affairs newspapers. But if you want a new perspective to your answer and give a new dimension to your answer, then in that case it is research papers. These two are very good. Okay, and you can also refer to Anthropological Journal by Anthropological Survey of India. Okay, so these can help. Don't try to read everything. Just based on your syllabus, which topic you are lacking, those topic you try to search it and try to add in the relevant section. Okay, so this is with respect to identifying the area and how you should overcome it. Okay, so first know the topics in those topics which you are weak, and try to identify what is the weakness. Accordingly, try to find the solution. Now, out of 400, maybe 100 topics might not be comfortable, right? 100 you are not comfortable, and rest 300 you are comfortable. So complete first 100 topics and then move to the next 300, because completion of syllabus is important for UPSC. Don't try to leave them, because we already found out the critical areas only. So within that, if you are skipping, then it creates a problem again at the end. Okay, so this is very important. And next, moving to how to balance. Okay, so now every day, every day, pick 3 to 4 topics. See, don't read chapter wise. If you go chapter wise, it is going to consume lot of time. See, if you already done, or if you have completed 2-3 revisions, then that's a different case. But if lot of things are pending and you did not revise properly, then in that case, go topic wise. You can pick a chapter, then see within this chapter what are the most possible ones. First, complete those, and after completing all these topics, then you can go to the left out areas if you still have time. Okay, so if you complete all the major important topics, then you will be confident as well. Okay, so this confidence will help you in clearing prelims, and post prelims the confidence remains with you, and you can easily cover the left out areas. So 3 to 4 topics a single day, and on these 3 to 4 topics, try to write 3 to 4 questions. See, this reading and practice, without this it gets very difficult post prelims to manage your optional. So ensure that for the next coming 100 days, you write 3 to 4 topics. Okay, read and practice as well. Now, how to allocate your time during this next 3 to 4 months? See, I told you what you have to do. Okay, I told you what you have to do, right? Now, if you can check that we are at December 10th. Okay, December, January, February, March, April, and May. Right. So, assuming that you are spending 10 hours for your preparation, because these are crucial months and it is much needed, at least 10 hours now. So, for 3 hours, you dedicate to prelims, 3.5 for GS, 3.5 for optional. Now, assuming that you are doing 3 or 4 topics per day, that means 1 hour each topic. Then you practice at least 30 to 45 minutes for questions. So I have explicitly mentioned here that you have to compulsorily give 30% of your time for practice every day. Suppose I am reading 10 hours, so my 3 hours should go for practice, be it GS, be it optional, be it prelims. So for every part, 30% of the time should go for practice, because exam is going to test your practice only, not what's there in your mind, because your knowledge is not at all concerned in the examination. So that's why emphasize more on practice, and 30% of your day should go for practice. See, I'm talking about only if you are very serious about the examination, because most of the students, what they do, they just try it. So trying, you can experiment, but if you don't have any option that you have to clear examination at any cost, then in that case you can't risk yourself to commit this mistake of not practicing prelims or GS mains or optional. You should write answers of GS out of 3.5 hours, 40 minutes or 35 minutes you have to write. Here also 40 minutes or 35 minutes you have to write 3 questions, and then at least practice 25 to 30 minutes of MCQs. So you do anything, irrespective of what you are doing, 30% of your time should go for practice alone. So now in the initial days, you can keep 3 hours to prelims, then slowly increase it in January to 4, and in February you can take it to 6, and in March you can take it to 8, and then April and May complete. So in March, you won't be reading anything. You won't be reading anything new from GS or optional. But whatever you have read, you have to revise it. Because I'll tell you one thing, see, it's a gap of more than 100 days. Now for 100 days you haven't touched your mains, you haven't touched your optional, and directly after prelims you are opening your book. It gets very difficult to recall everything, and you lost the sorry, you will be losing the connection between the subject that you have learned and yourself, right? So now again it takes time to build that momentum, and that time that needs for building the momentum can be reduced drastically by at least revising 1 hour each day during the March. You don't need to read anything. Revise only what you have already done. See, many of the people will think that I can't be doing this because my prelims is like, it's very bad, or we did not perform good with respect to tests that we are practicing in prelims. So now I have to give my complete time to the prelims itself. See, in that case, if you are very weak at prelims, you can skip this March part also. But till February, try to do your optional. Okay. So if you are very weak, then in that case you can go for skipping this part. But if you are okay with your prelims, then in that case I would suggest try to give 1 hour to revision for both optional and GS. So in this way you can plan. So this is tentative. You can change according to your own requirements. So this is very practical timing, and it is executable. I am not trying to tell you something which is ideal. So if you plan this way, you can do well. So now within optional, you have paper 1, paper 2, right? Within paper 2, it is Indian, it is tribal, and it is having archaeological anthropology. See, from Indian anthropology, you will be having mostly 20 questions overall that can be framed. From tribal, another 25 questions you will be having which can be framed. And from archaeology, there can be lot of questions. So that's why you just revise your notes and try to write each answer on one topic each. So that will be around 15 to 20 questions. So 20, 25, 20. So around 65 questions from paper 2 will be coming. So start with paper 2. It's easy to finish. So you'll get that momentum also. So once you get that momentum, you'll be confident about at least one paper. that will boost your energy for your next paper. If you are getting stuck with paper 1 itself, then it's very difficult to move to the next topic or next paper, and you will lose the energy to study, which is easy also. So that now first complete this one, and what you will do, daily 3 to 4 answers, 3 to 4 topics, 3 to 4 answers, within 25 days or 20 days you will finish the paper 2. Now you have another 75 days, assuming that you are doing for 80 days or 90 days, or you have another 60 days. So another 60 days you read 3 to 4 topics and 3 to 4 questions of paper 1 and write the answers. With this you will finish all the topics in your 80-90 days. So just by giving little time. So assuming that you have done your anthropology basics once and at least you have gone through it. Okay, if you are doing it now itself, so try to finish along with what you are reading. Suppose you are reading demographic profile of India, then the same day itself you identify the major ones and try to write the answers. Once you are doing this, your major job is done. So the same way you can do for GS also. You can divide into themes and sub themes and try to practice those answers. Once you are done with GS syllabus as well. So this is how you can plan your optional along with the prelims. So it is very important for you to balance your optional, GS and prelims. So don't ignore either of them. So try to complete one of them if you are strong at the other. So some people are very good at GS, their optional is problematic. So try to focus and increase a little bit of time and you can adjust accordingly. So this is tentative, so you can arrange accordingly and try to do it. So from our end, I have observed that we have taken up 100 days challenge, and in this 100 days challenge many of the students, I was providing questions and I'm asking them to practice, but I could see only 1%, even less than 1% of the total students I have are writing the answers. So from here I got something very clear, that students are lacking the motivation to write. So what I have decided is that write with us. So you can write with us. So what we'll be doing, we'll take 4 questions, we'll be live, you write along with us. Okay, so like we'll be displaying the timer, you write the answers, and then you'll get a video of that explanation, the skeleton explanation of that particular question. So we'll be broadly telling you how you can you can write the intro, body and conclusion. So here you can learn and practice alongside. Okay, so that you will be having that little motivation to practice every day, because most of the time students skip writing part, and when you don't write, this becomes a major challenge for mains. So who writes more will be more eligible for clearing mains examination. So ensure that you're not neglecting any of the part. Prelims is very important. Without prelims there is no mains, and without mains prelims is useless. So that's why either of them cannot be neglected. It should be balanced, and UPSC is testing your temperament and how you can balance them. So from my end, whatever the best it's possible, I'll be trying to help you, but this is the broad idea that I can give you. And you can also notice that here finding out this part is very crucial, because you know what is problematic to you cannot be identified by teacher. Okay, so teacher cannot identify it. So what is your problem, accordingly you identify your weak areas, you can write yourself. And if you lack the motivation, okay, if you are feeling that okay we cannot do it by ourselves, in that case you can follow our live answer writing right with us. Okay, so see you all, thank you.